Probably noticed everything from fuel to furniture to food has been inflating recently. Meat prices in particular are up sharply. Take a look at these year-over-year numbers right here. These come from the Labor Department. Meat, poultry, fish, eggs, they didn't see much of a price increase in 2018 or 19, but skyrocketed 6.3% in 2020. Then last year, a whopping 10.5%. Despite the rising cost at the store, ranchers aren't suddenly turning into billionaires overnight. So why is meat so expensive? Can it be fixed? Dan Grossman has some answers for us.
Character is found in grit. And grit? That's found bountifully in Zane Bluebaw's daily routine. In his arms, Zane carries the weight of feed for his cattle. On his back, he carries the weight of his family's entire legacy.
Just trying to make a commitment to move forward and actually grow is virtually impossible right now.
For 6 generations, the Bluebaws have raised cattle on their nearly 3,000 acres in Tonkawa, Oklahoma. Each generation has guided the ranch through its hardships and uncertainties, but few have faced the ones Zane is currently facing at the young age of 23.
It just makes it more uncertain at every level. It compounds those factors to where it becomes more difficult to predict anything.
You want me to take them out for you?
If you've gone to the store recently, you know the prices of food and meat. But what you might not know is the people some might assume are benefiting from them are hurting as much, if not more, than the people they're supplying.
The independent farmers and ranchers, we're on razor-thin margins. Many of these multi-generational operations are having trouble even staying in business.
Across the country, ranchers like Zane are going out of business rapidly. Since 1980, the farmer's share of the retail food dollar has plummeted by 50%, and the processor share, or the companies that prepare the meat for packaging, has risen by nearly 60%. It has led to record profits for producers and smaller profits for ranchers, while passing higher prices down to consumers.
Well, I think it's just pure greed because they can. They have that much market power. The system that we have today is broken.
Scott Bluebaw is Zane's dad and the president of the Oklahoma Farmers Union. What he says about market power is true. According to Farming, the top 4 processing companies controlled 84% of the beef industry. In 1970, that number was 25%, as tens of thousands of processors have either been bought up or pushed out. It means less competition, which means fewer options for competing prices and fewer chances to keep legacy farms like theirs running.
It's a huge burden that we all carry. To be able to carry on, we have to make lots of sacrifices.
To manage, the Bluebaws have cut back on auctions, swapped to smaller processors, and marketed directly to the consumer, hoping the strength of their character can support the weight of their legacy. I'm Dan Grossman.
Inflation cuts across every political party, religious group, home state. And here at Newsy, we want to focus on the people behind the issues, the people feeling them. So let's get a real voice into the conversation tonight. James Henderson is a 5th-generation cattle farmer based out of La Jara, Colorado. James, you're a farmer of cow-calf production, and I want to make sure I'm getting it right. I'm from Missouri, but I don't know exactly what that means. Does that mean you breed and sell cows that are young amateur?
So our role in the beef supply chain is that we start by breeding our mother cattle, and we have the calves and we raise them until they're about 500 to 700 pounds, and then we sell them into feedlots where they'll grow to harvest size, which is another 700 pounds. So anywhere in the range of 1,200-1,300 pounds is when those cattle are slaughtered.
Time, labor, food intensive. People are paying a boatload right now for meat. I've heard of some people saying, I went to get ground beef, it's 40% higher. And everyone seems to be saying, I don't know why, because I'm not making any more money. The grocery stores say it, the processors say it. Are your profits way up?
So in 2020, during the March shutdown, we saw prices crater, and it was very impactful for our ranch. USDA came out with the Coronavirus Food Assistance Program, which helped bolster the agriculture industry up, which was very important for us. As a consumer, myself, there's kind of this misnomer that farmers and ranchers maybe, just have all their food raised on their farm, and that's really not the case. We go down to the grocery store. I have a big family. There's 7 of us, and we've noticed this increase in the prices of meat as well, and it's very concerning. I would say since that big dip in March of 2020, we've seen cattle prices start to come back, but there still is a discrepancy between the prices that farmers are receiving for their animals and the price of meat. And a lot of that is due to COVID restrictions within the packing plants and labor shortages. As soon as we can produce and get rid of the backlog of cattle that are in the country, I think that disparity is going to close pretty quickly.
That'll help. I had never thought of a cattleman going to the store to feed his family and also saying, my gosh, why is this so expensive? That's fascinating. So that's what's leading to some of the higher cost. At this time, because we want our American farmers to stay in business, we want there to be a 6th generation on your farm. What is the most profitable thing you can produce right now?
For us, our bread and butter, so to speak, is the cattle that we raise. That first part of that beef supply chain, we've been doing that since 1882, so we have that 140-year tradition of doing that. That's going to be increasingly profitable for us over the coming years. We're seeing the cattle inventory shrink across the country as drought conditions have really impacted the western United States as well as areas like North Dakota as well. So the lower supply of cattle, the higher the demand is going to be by the packers that eventually buy our cattle. And, we still rely on supply and demand functions as a market. And right now we're oversupplied and there's a bottleneck at the packers, which is really putting that negative pressure on our markets.
A double whammy. I guess I'd ask most farmers, we know you do not get into or stay in this work to get rich. It is hard and it's tenuous. Farmers love the land, the animals, the farm life. They love their neighbors they get to provide for. Are you going to be able to keep it going despite some of the stuff we're going through?
Yeah, I have a lot more confidence today than I did in March of 2020. We sold our cattle that year really at the lowest point that we could, and it was a big impact. What's important for us going forward is making sure that the regulatory environment continues to be favorable for the farmers and ranchers in the country. The investment that the Biden administration is making, a $1 billion investment into expanding meat packing and expanding programs to make sure we have all the workers, that's going to be very important. But staying off government intrusion into our markets, like the Grass-Leaf-Fisher Act, there's parts of that are good, allowing farmers and ranchers like myself to discover what our cattle prices really should be. Those things are good, but the mandates of how we market and sell our cattle are not going to be beneficial. And in fact, most agricultural economics professors will tell you that it will cost us a significant amount of money if some of these regulations are passed.
Understood. And real quick, while I have an expert on the line, when you're making chili, which is the best ground beef to put in that?
You're going to want to put in some 70-30 in there. Make sure it's got some good flavor.
I should say so, 30%. Okay, and ribeye. Okay, just go for it. James Henderson, we appreciate your insight on this issue and also you keeping the legacy alive. Thank you.
Thank you.